Hello, all. Very good morning. Uh, he not yet join. We just wait for. It's already 5:40. Uh, he joining. Or any info? Let me check just mail. Okay, he told he'll be joining in 5 minutes. Okay, he is also joining. Just give me a minute. Okay. Okay. Yesterday we were discussing like different types of recording modes, right? So what are those recording modes? Normal recording, analog recording, and low level recording. Okay. So normal recording is nothing but like all of your mouse and keyboard operations you will go for, but mostly in your real time you not even go for like recording, but if you are going for recording means you will go for normal recording, like that you can remember. Okay, nowadays nobody is going for recording mode. Okay, so each and everybody coming up with like hybrid framework or keyboard driven framework. Okay, okay, so that is nothing but like normal recording. Then analog recording comes into picture. So analog recording is nothing but like whenever you get a chance to verify signatures or graphs. Okay, such cases you can go for analog recording. During analog recording you can record with respect to screen as well as with respect to window, but always it's best practice to go with respect to window. Okay, so then some of the objects in your application not identifying by your QTP tool means, so at that time you can go for low level recording. So during low level recording what exactly QTP will do is whatever the Yarden supported environment it is, so QTP initially QTP sometime it will disable that identity, that Yarden, and it will temporarily recognize that application as a standalone application. So during low level recording, so wherever you are clicking, those mouse coordinates align with your keyboard operations, it will consider and record. Okay, normally you will never get a chance to go for like recording itself, but even unlike recording, low level recording, depends on situation, you can go for. Okay. So this is nothing but like recording modes we were discussed. Okay, so as soon as you launch your QTP tool, so initially it will launch your Yarden manager. So Yarden manager is nothing but like on which application you are going to automate. So if it is Java application, Java license you have to purchase. If it is Cbel application, Cbel license. If it is .NET, so .NET Yarden you have to purchase, and you can work it up with. Okay, so which Yarden you want to work with, in Yarden manager you will have to select, then click on OK button. Then it will allow you to navigate to home page of your Gmail. Then you are ready to work with automating any of your application. Okay, so apart from that, so we were discussing like automation process. So what is automation we try to follow? So planning the test, recording, enhancing, debugging, analyzing the test, analyzing, running the test, analyzing results, and reporting defects. So these are the 6 steps you will try to follow. So during planning phase, which test cases you are going to automate, you will try to pick up. So let us suppose you were already decided like which test cases you are going to automate. That means planning phase already done. Okay, then so like this. Okay, just a second. So here you don't have sorry. Okay, fine now. Okay, then which are the manual test cases you were decided to go for automation? So what in planning phase, what is your next stage? Recording the test. So you will start your automation process by recording normal basic operations in your test case. That means converting manual test cases to automation with recording. Okay, so yesterday we were discussing like a little bit brief about how different types of applications your QTP tool records. Okay, so I'm starting recording. So while recording, what QTP will do is it will try to record all of your mouse and keyboard operations. Okay, so resources object repository, one feature you come across. We'll try to see today like little bit advanced what exactly QTP follows the mechanism while recording and running. Okay, so while recording, what QTP will do exactly is internally it will try to identify the objects and which are the objects you perform operations, and all those objects gets stored into your object repository and performs steps here. Okay, so you are entering username, let us assume you are entering, let us suppose like username, sorry. Okay, it's recording, QTP is under recording mode. Okay, fine, no issues. QTP is under recording mode. Okay, fine. So gmail.com. Okay, so I am trying to enter username here. Okay, so I entered username in my Gmail application. So what QTP will do is it will try to identify this object and stores into your object repository and generating step here in your script panel. Okay, so and which are the objects you are performing operations, that object initially QTP try to identify and stores into your object repository. See, I entered password. Okay, password got added to your object repository and generated step here. Okay, then similarly once you click on sign in button, that button as well added to your object repository and generated step here. Okay, so what is repository? What is repository? Repository is nothing but like storage kind of stuff. Repository is nothing but like storage, right? So object repository means objects you are getting storing into your repository. So that's why you are considering it as like object repositories. Okay, so simply I have to summarize means while recording and which are the objects you are performing operations, all those objects gets identified uniquely internally and stores into your, that means control first goes to application, then going to object repository, and then control goes to your script panel. Okay, so this is the approach, this is the mechanism QTP follows while recording. Then while running, QTP initially come to this step, it has to set this name for email. So QTP have to identify this object, right? So this QTP have to identify this object means it has to go to object repository, right? So it will try to identify that object with the help of like object repository, then performs this set operation in your application. Okay, so while running, QTP control first come to your scripting, then it will go to like your object repository, okay, and performs that step in your application, so that means QTP while running is just opposite, okay, recording, application, object repository, then script. While running, script, then object repository, then application it will perform, okay. So this is the hierarchy you have to follow, okay. So this is nothing but like during recording QTP follows, this is the mechanism, okay. Remember here I have clicked on, see, I clicked on launching Internet Explorer already there. What I do is, okay, I have closed, but this step I will try to go for like last. Okay. I am launching Internet Explorer. If you observe that step here is not recording, that is the problem in your Windows 7. In case if it's not recording, you are using Windows 7 operating system, and initially whenever any of the application you are launching, it may not record system utility.run. So you don't want to worry, okay. In 7 that is the common problem. In case if it's not recording means, what you can do is you can manually add this step, system util.run, and so that exe path you have to get means right click, okay. So right click properties, if you go from there you will get where it was installed that exe file, right, okay, where it was installed that Internet Explorer, that exe path you can copy, okay. Other parameters were optional, okay. See, other parameters were something is taking is optional, okay. So system utility.run is automatically taking while recording, means you can manually add this step in your Windows 7 operating system, okay. So if I run, you don't want to worry, it will get executed. Okay, any questions? I have unmuted. Anybody having any questions? No? Okay. Okay. Then we can go for like object identification, okay. So while recording I said like on which all other objects you perform operations, it will try to identify each and every object and gets stored into your object repository, right. So what is the mechanism QTP follows for identifying any of the object? That is nothing but like object identification. So this is heart of your automation. So not only in QTP, every tool, every automation tool, object identification is the primary concept. Okay, object identification mechanism is common in any of the tool, but only the thing is terminology may get vary. Okay, that one we'll see once we finish like object identification. Okay, so we'll try to discuss like object oriented concepts a little bit, like object, class, property, method, object identification. Okay, then finally we can go for like how QTP identify the objects. Okay, okay, so recording modes already we discussed. Okay, so then we can go for like object oriented concepts. What is object? Object you can define as any real world instance. Any real world instance you can consider as object. Like around you, which are the stuff you are seeing, like one house, TV, okay, fridge, fan, or something, okay, door, window, each and everything you can consider as one object. Hill, tree, computer, okay, mouse, okay, so each and everything you can consider as one object. Human being also one object. Okay, so any object if you take, like tree if you take, should be having some properties. Like tree if you take, name of the tree, color, height, something like that. So many, how many leaves, okay, how many branches, something like that you can come across. Okay, so exactly if you take like employee also one object. If you take some employee, so which are the properties you come across is employee name, employee ID, first name, last name, middle name, okay, gender, then you can go for like age, date of birth, like that. So many properties you come across. Okay, so that is nothing but like object. That is nothing but object. Any real world instance you can consider as one object. Okay, so exactly in your application, if you go for like application, okay, if you go for application, so in this page you are seeing so many elements, right? Like username, password, sign in button, stay signed in, cannot access your account, okay, about Gmail, new features, switch to Gmail, create an account, learn more, so create an account, new T, like that. Whatever the element you are seeing in this space, each and every element you can consider as one object. Okay, so username is one object, password is one object, sign in is one object, stay signed in is one object, cannot access or one object. Okay, like that each and every element whatever you are seeing in this space you can consider as one object. You can consider as one object. Okay, so like employee if you take, he will be having some properties, right? Exactly student if you take, he will be having some properties. Exactly any of the object if you go, I am going for like object spy. Okay, so I am pointing out a specific object, any of the object. Okay, before that I have to tell you small thing. There is some bug in your Windows 7 or latest versions of your QTP. See what I am doing, I am clicking on username, I am clicking on username. See what is taking, password. So that is the bug in your application. So what is taking is, here is username means somewhere else is taking, so this is what is taking it as username, you see. Okay, so while recording it's properly is considering, but while recording, while going for like object spy, it's little bit the coordinates are getting varying. Okay, so username where is taking, you see. Exactly if you go for like password, this is what QTP is taking like password. Okay, so let me point out like username. See, this is what is taking username. Slightly the positions getting varying while going for like object spy. So that is bug in your QTP. That is not the problem with you or you, something else. Okay, so like student, if you take student ID, student first name, last name, middle name, age, date of birth, like that, how many properties are coming up with? Exactly any of the window, if you go, any of the object, if you go in any of the application, you should be having like so many properties here, you see. Okay, so many properties here you see, right? Which are the different properties you are seeing? Class name, absolute x, absolute y, class default value, disabled, height, width, length, name, inner test, outer test, x coordinate, y like that. So many properties here you are having. Okay, okay. So in our class, so many students were there. I have to identify Praveena. How I will identify? If you go for like Praveena, so many properties you will be having, right? Like first name, last name, middle name, age, date of birth, something like that. So many properties, class. Okay, you will be having so many properties. But I have to identify Praveena means normally we'll think about it. So from you don't want to consider all those properties, right? You don't want to consider all those properties. So what you can consider? Simply you can consider first name and gender. If you consider these two properties, you can identify, right? Any of the person in our real world, you have to identify means you can consider these two properties, you can identify. Here my point is like, even though you are having so many properties, still you are considering minimum number of properties. Exactly, QTP also follows the similar mechanism. Even though here for any of the object, not only for this object, any of the object if you go, any of the object if you go, okay, so you are having so many properties here, you see. Exactly, I went for password. Now I am going for like sign in button, stay sign in, check box. Okay, so this also having so many properties. Okay, so but I said during recording on which are the objects you perform operations, each and every object it will identify uniquely and stores into your object repository. You go to object repository means here, if you remember, see, for each and every object there are so many properties, right? Okay, each and every object having so many properties, but QTP not stored all those properties here in object repository, you see. Okay, it has stored very minimum number of properties. So how you are considering in your real life? Exactly, here also QTP considering very minimum number of properties for identifying the objects. Okay. So this is nothing but like the mechanism QTP follows. Okay. Okay, so this is nothing but like object. So object is nothing but like any real world instance you can consider as object. So object will be having so many properties. Okay, then one more concept you come across, so that is nothing but like class. Sorry, that is nothing but class. Class is nothing but group of objects with similar properties is nothing but class. In our training institute, there are so many courses were going on, right? Java, .NET, testing, SAP, Oracle apps, something like that. Okay. So in our institute, who all the students are there? each and every student is nothing but like one object, right? Each and every student should belongs to some class, right? Like either testing or Java or Oracle apps or C or something like that. Okay, so here each and every student belongs to some class. Like class is one property that making you the group. That means like group of objects with similar properties. Like training course equal to testing. Training course is one property. That property making you class. Okay, if your course is like testing, you belongs to testing class. If your course is like Java, you belongs to Java class. If your course is like .NET, you belongs to .NET class. Right? Like that exactly. Each and every object, each and every student in the training institute should belongs to some class. Means like class, how you can define it as like group of objects with similar properties. Like all laptops belongs to laptops class. All chairs belongs to chairs class. All computers belongs to computers class. All Indians belongs to Indians class. All Chinese belongs to Chinese class. All ES citizens belongs to ES class. Like that, here group of objects with similar properties is nothing but like class. Okay, so that is nothing but like class. Then one more simple property, simple concepts like property and method we can go for. Okay, so then what is property? Like student, if you take like first name, last name, middle name, is nothing but like property. Okay, so if you take like push button, so push button, if you take we use sign in button. Okay, so what is the property? X coordinate, Y coordinate, absolute X, absolute Y, name, label, inner text, out. See, you don't think like all these properties, so you don't want to understand very clearly. You should be aware of like one object should be having so many properties. So these properties for developing that object, developer could have used these properties. Okay, so some properties, what exactly each and every property going forward while practicing you will get to know. As of now you can remember just one object is there, means developer was used so many properties for developing that object. That is what you can remember. Okay, so like that sign in button having so many properties. So like X coordinate, Y coordinate, absolute X, absolute Y, inner test, outer test, label. Okay, X, Y, height, width, length. Okay, like that. That is nothing but like property. Method is nothing but like property describes about that object. Method performs operations in that object. That means like click is nothing but like you can click on that object, right? So click is nothing but like method. Get X coordinate, get Y coordinate, get absolute X, get label, get length, get width. These all are nothing but like methods. Okay, so one football, if you take color is nothing but like property, method is nothing but like kick, K-I-C-K, kick. You can perform kick operation in that football, right? So kick is nothing but like method. Exactly, any of the object in your application, if you take, each and every object should be having some properties and methods. So property is nothing but like describes about that object. Method is nothing but like operation you can perform in that specific object. Okay, so before going these are the different property, different very few concepts you have to remember. So these are nothing but like basically object oriented concepts you can consider it as. Okay, so object oriented concepts, these are very basics. Along with this one you will come across like data abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism and inheritance. Okay, these are the very few basic, these are the concepts you come across. That one we'll discuss whenever we go for like advanced. Okay, So as of now you can remember this is very simple stuff. Okay. Okay, then we can go for like object properties. Okay, I said like you have to identify Pravina means you don't want to consider all those properties, so whatever you have. So minimum number of properties you can follow like name and gender. Exactly. QTP also have to identify any of the object in your application. Like let us suppose username QTP have to identify. Okay. So before going further, anybody having any questions? I have unmuted. You have any questions? No? Okay, fine. No. Okay, so QTP have to identify username. So okay, before that we will discuss like what is object and what is class. So whatever you are saying in this page, each and every element you can consider as one object, right? Each and every element in this page you can consider as one object. Each and every object will be having some properties, and whatever the object you are available in this page, each and every object belongs to some class. Whatever the object available in your real life, in your real nature, each and every object belongs to some class, right? Okay, each and every object belongs to some class. Okay, so exactly whatever the object available here in this page, each and every object belongs to some class. So what is that class? So this one what do you call normally? Edit box. This one normally username and password. So these boxes what you can consider? Text boxes or edit boxes. So edit box is nothing but like one class. So username and password both belongs to edit box classes. Sign in what do you call normally? Push button. Okay, so sign in and create an account. This one also looks like button. Okay, but this is not exactly button, it looks like button. If you go for like QTP, it will identify it as a link, it is not button. Okay, okay, fine. So sign in is nothing but like push button. So the object sign in belongs to push button class. Stay signed in, what we will call normally that one? Checkbox, right? So stay signed in object belongs to checkbox class. Okay, so exactly cannot access your account. So about Gmail, new features, so switch to Gmail, create an account. What do you call these ones? You can call them as links, right? So cannot access your account belongs to link class. So like that, in any of the application, if you take, how many types of classes you come across? Edit box or text box, push button, combo box, list box, link, horizontal scroll bar, vertical scroll bar, tab, okay, web element, table, frame, page. Okay, so each and everything is nothing but like one class. Okay, so username, password, sorry, text box, combo box, list box, push button, horizontal scroll bar, vertical scroll bar, tab, web element, okay, page, table. These all are like this. You will get so many classes. Going forward, you will get to know. So as of now, you can remember these are the classes. These are nothing but like classes, right? Okay. So what are the image? Image also one more class. This is image, right? So image also one more class. Okay, so which all are the objects available in this space? Each and every object should belong to some class. Okay, now you have to identify username. QTP have to identify username. What it can look for is like, it can look for edit box and label username. Class is also one property. Class, label are nothing but like properties, right? So class and name it will look for. Username is having so many properties like class, label, inner test, outer test, absolute x, absolute y, length, width, height, something like that. So many properties is having. But QTP how to identify username is it can look for two properties, just class and label. Okay, so normally developer may give some name for this text box. So that is nothing but like email he has given. If you go for here, okay, so this is the name he has given. Okay, name see email. Okay, so like that developer there is some name, and name is nothing but like name, and class is nothing but like web edit. Okay, so like that. Okay, or but in this case stay signed in. So this checkbox developer could have given some name. In case no name was assigned for that one, what it will do is nearest test it will consider. Meanwhile, like even edit box also. Edit box, let us suppose developer haven't given any name. Then what it will do? It will take nearest text. Nearest text is username for, and for password. For password is the nearest text. Exactly like stay signed in. For this one checkbox, right? So for checkbox stay signed in, nearest text it will consider. Okay. So from this page QTP have to identify username. So how QTP identifies? By considering two properties like class and label. Okay. So whenever you pass those two properties, QTP it will go for like in a systematic way. So like first it will come for like two properties. If you go for just a second. Okay. Okay. So QTP have to identify username, let us suppose. How QTP identifies is like class name and label or name. Okay, label or name are attached to it may look for. Okay, so what is class name? Web edit. What is label? Username or attached to or email also you can consider. For this box they were given email. Okay, so if you consider these two properties, QTP follow like first it will come here. So is this edit box? First property it will try to look for. Is this object edit box type? No. New to Gmail. Is this object like edit box? No. Create an account. Is this object is of type like edit box? Is this edit box? Like that it will come in a systematic way. So each and every object it will look, some order it will go for. So finally it will come like sign in. So is this like edit box? No. Is this edit box? Yes. This is edit box. So first property matched. Then label. Is this edit box having label like email? Yes. Internally, as of now, why you want to get confused? Username you can go for. Okay. So when you get expert at that time you can understand better. As of now you can go for like username only. So is this edit box having name username? Yes. So it has identified this object, right? Exactly. QTP how to follow the object like password. Okay, QTP how to identify name password. So okay, password. So class name is web edit and label is password. Okay, again it will come like sequentially. So sign in button it will come, then username it will be. Okay, so is this edit box? Yes. This is edit box. What is first property matched? First property matched. Is that edit box having label password? No. This edit box doesn't have label password, so it disqualified. Okay, then it will come to this object. Is this object having edit box? Yes, this is having edit box. This is of type class edit box. Okay, first property matched. Then is that object having name like password? Yes, so both the properties is matched. Then it will try to set password for this object. Okay, so exactly, can anybody tell, like I have unmuted, can anybody tell sign in QTP how to identify? So what exactly QTP can look for? Sign in button, QTP how to identify. I have unmuted. Can anybody tell? So which properties it can look for? Sorry, that is push button, right? Sign in is a push button, right? So this is push button. Okay, so class is you can go for like push button. Okay, class is push button. So cannot access your account. This is nothing but like link. Okay, but this is push button. It will take. Even if you go for like recording, QTP, where is QTP? So see, web button is taking. Okay, so this is web button. Okay, so class is web button. Okay, so what is the label of that one? What is the label of that one? Sign in. Exactly. Okay, so sign in. Does any object having, does any object matches these two properties? No, right? Only sign in. So those two properties provided unique identification. Exactly, you have to identify cannot access your account. Cannot access your account. Okay, cannot access your account. So this is nothing but like cannot access your account is nothing but what is that one? Link. Okay, yeah, web link also is, yeah, that is complete, web link. Perfect. Okay, so label cannot access your account. So QTP can look for these two properties. Does any object in this page having these two properties? No. So those two properties provided unique identification. Then stay signed in. Okay, so you have to identify stay signed in. Okay, so what is this one? Stay signed in is, what is the class it belongs to? Checkbox, right? Okay, so you can go for like a checkbox. Okay, so it doesn't have any label, so you can go for like attach text. Attach text. Okay, so cannot access, stay signed in. Stay signed in. Okay. Okay, stay signed in. Clear, right? So like this, QTP can go for like identifying any of the object in your application. Okay. Okay, let us suppose in our class two students having same name like Pravina. At that point of time, how you will differentiate both of them? So initially one student was there, so you were considered like first name and gender. That one provided unique identification. But here the situation got changed. Now two students were there. How you will identify now both of them? Exactly, height you can go for. Okay, like that other properties you can look for like height or surname. Simply, very simply, you can go for like surname, right, or last name, initial. Okay, so initial provide, no, it doesn't mean like you want to go for like initial only or surname only or last name only. Okay, so I'm just giving a concept idea. Okay, so like that, in case I mean like name and gender doesn't provide unique identification. Means how you are considering for identifying that object, you are looking for few more properties. In this case you can go for like surname. Okay, exactly, QTP also follows the similar mechanism. Okay, so by chance class and label doesn't provide unique identification for any of the object. What QTP can look for is like it can go for few more properties. You have seen, right? One object, if you take so many properties you are having. Okay, so QTP can look for any one of these objects. One of these properties. That means like initially it will look for like class and label. In case those two doesn't provide unique identification, means it may go for like few more properties for identifying that object. Okay, okay, let us assume those two are twins. Let us assume. Okay, so surname also should be same, right? At that point of time, surname also say, initial also, last name also same. So at that time what you can look for? As you said, like height or something like that you can look for. As I said like both of them are twins, exactly looks like same. Let us assume that is the situation. Exactly both of them looks like same height, same color. Okay, whenever we were studying like our bachelor's degree, at that time two students were there. Okay, so like Rami Reddy and Lakshmi Reddy, both of them are twins, exactly looks like same. Exactly looks like same. Instead of one guy, another guy came up. Even 2-3 years we were looking at, still we will get confused like who is Rami Reddy, who is Lakshmi Reddy. These days you may be saying newspapers, right? Like that situations are getting up. Okay, so if that is the case, how you can identify both of them differently, uniquely? At that point of time, what you can do is you can go for employee ID, right, or student ID. Okay, that means you can tell like his names also same. Let us suppose name is in this case like Rami Reddy, Lakshmi Reddy, right? Names will get vary, you can identify, but let us suppose names also same. So at that time Lakshmi Reddy 1, Lakshmi Reddy 2, like that you can add index. You can add indexing. Okay, you can add 1, 2, 3, something like that, index. In your IT industry front, you go for like space like what do you say, Facebook. In Facebook, once you log in, you want to add friends, means so many friends it may display. Then there you will see like add friend, add friend, add friend, add friend buttons, so many you will see, right? Okay, so all add friend buttons having similar properties, right? Similar properties, length, width, height, name, each and everything is same, right? If that is the situation, how QTP identifies the objects? How QTP identifies the object? So at that point of time, QTP can go for like indexing, like add friend 1, add friend 2, add friend 3, add friend 4, something like that. Okay, so there it's indexing. Okay, there it's indexing. That means it will add some index to identify those objects. Okay, okay, by chance index also doesn't provide unique identification, let us assume. Then what QTP can go for is like location. Okay, so location means in this class chairs were there, right? So one chair is there, two persons cannot sit in one chair, right? So if you consider like location, it will definitely provide unique identification. If you consider exactly, if any that kind of situation you come across, if you go for like location, so absolute x, absolute y, that kind of coordinate. Developer could have used some location. Okay, he will definitely come up with some location for putting that object, right? Okay, so if you go for like some location, it will definitely provide unique identification, right? So either it can go for like location or index. Okay, so QTP how to identify any of the object means it can go for like index or location. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm launching 5 Internet Explorers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So 5 Internet Explorers I have launched, I have opened. So having, see, first one I am going. Okay, so second one I am displaying. Do you see any difference? Do you observe any difference? No, right? Okay. Okay, that means like my point here is like having same title and same description. Do you see any difference from window to window? No, right? So, and location also same, right? For all these windows appearing in same location. If this is the situation, what QTP can consider for identifying any of the object? So here location also doesn't provide unique identification. So what QTP can look for at this point of time? At this point of time, QTP can go for like creation time. Okay, creation time. So creation time is nothing but like whenever any of the two Internet Explorers you are opening, for getting launching there should be at least some time gap, right? So that means creation time is nothing but like at what point of time that object is creating, that time it will add. If you add time, it will definitely provide resolution. Okay. So that is nothing but like creation time. So QTP initially look for like mandatory class and label. In case those two properties doesn't provide means it can go for like a few more properties. Even those properties also doesn't provide means it can go for like index, location or creation time. Any one of these three QTP can go for, means like either index or location or creation time. Any one of these it can go for identifying any of the object. Okay, so this is nothing but like your object identification. So this is the mechanism QTP follows for identifying any of the object in your application. Okay, so that is nothing but like, so QTP how to identify any of the object in your application means initially it can go for like class and label. Those properties you can consider as mandatory properties, that means compulsory properties. QTP how to identify any of the object means it should look for minimum number of properties, right? At least few properties. So those are nothing but like compulsory property. Okay, those one what you are considering it as like mandatory properties. Mandatory properties. In case QTP doesn't provide unique identification mandatory properties means it can go for assistive properties. Assistive properties are nothing but like few more additional properties QTP can look for. Okay, that means like class and label doesn't provide unique identification means it can go for like user like few more properties in a test, outer test or HTML tag or something like few more properties it may look for. Okay, those properties you are considering as like assistive properties. Okay, those properties you are considering it as assistive properties. Even assistive properties also doesn't provide unique identification means it can go for like ordinal identifier. Okay, so ordinal identifier is nothing but like either index, location, creation time. So QTP how to identify any of the object means initially it will look for mandatory properties. In case mandatory properties doesn't provide unique identification means it can go for like assistive properties. Assistive properties are nothing but like few more properties. Even assistive properties doesn't provide unique identification means it can go for ordinal identifier. Ordinal identifier is nothing but like index, location, creation time. Okay, index, location, creation time. Okay, so this is the mechanism QTP follows for identifying any of the object. Okay, so normally in any of the tool follows the similar mechanism, but before QTP they come up with like WinRunner, right? So WinRunner also follows the similar mechanism like in WinRunner, but terminology is getting very like initially it will look for like base filter properties, base properties. Base properties are nothing but like mandatory properties in your QTP. In case base properties doesn't provide unique identification, it can go for like assistive properties. No, it will go for like optional properties. So in WinRunner, that is optional properties. Even optional properties doesn't provide me, it can go for like index location. In WinRunner, there is no concept like ordinal identifier. Even creation time also not there. Just base filter properties, optional filter properties, then index and location it can go for. Okay, if you don't have like ordinal identifier or creation time. Even the terminology is getting very, but concept is same, right? Identification mechanism is same. So like that, not only QTP or WinRunner, any of the tool, if you go for like silk test, it can go for like ID. The concept you come across in silk test is like tag and multi-tag. There you come across like ID, caption, label, attached text, like window ID, something like that you come across in your silk test. Okay, so tag and multi-tag. So tag is nothing but like single property, multi-tag is nothing but like multiple properties. So there you come across different properties like ID, caption, name, few more you will come across like what do you say window ID, something like that you come across. Okay, so that is nothing but like silk test. Okay, even Selenium also will go for like ID, name, XPath, CSS path. Okay, this is the concept you will go for. Okay, so latest version of your QTP 11 if you take, they come up with one more concept that is nothing but like XPath. Okay, XPath is nothing but like one more identification mechanism. Okay, so what is XPath? In your city you are staying in one house, right? In your own house, that house having unique address in your city, right? Or even in your globe itself. In globe, no other house having same address, right? Exactly, whatever the object your developer is placing in any of the window, each and every object he will use some unique ID, so that is nothing but like XPath. That is nothing but XPath. I will just to show you one simple stuff. For that one you have to go to like Mozilla Firefox. Let me check it for Mozilla Firefox. Okay, Google Chrome is always fast. Internet Explorer meanwhile like Mozilla also very slow. Okay. See, it's not required just for awareness purpose, I'm saying. So what do you mean by like XPath? And like actually it's QTP 10, right? QTP 10 you don't have like XPath identification. Okay, I will try to install 11 and I will show you. Okay, so if you go for like here, you are getting like XPath file path. Here you are taking like this is nothing but like XPath. It's considering XPath. Okay, so ID email is taking. So it's adding something like just that is nothing but like XPath. Okay, so each and every object should be having some unique address. Okay, so that is nothing but like XPath. Okay, so this is nothing but like XPath. Even in QTP also with latest version of 11 they were introduced with XPath identification. Okay, and one more concept they were introduced like CSS. CSS is nothing but like cascading style sheet. Cascading style sheet. Cascading style sheet is nothing but like so where is Mozilla? Okay, so here you go. That is nothing but like cascading style sheet. For any of the object if we inspect, it will go for like cascading style sheet. It's not giving. Okay. Okay, I will show you. So any of the object if we inspect, that is for password, right? So cascading right click, and here also you can get it up. Okay, copy CSS path. I will go to Notepad. Okay, see, it's very big property, right? It's having like too much long. It's too much long, right? Okay, so if you go for like a QTP, Mozilla, if you go, so what exactly is taking is first you go. So first HTML tag, right? So that is nothing but HTML. HTML they were divided into body and header. Body and header. Okay, it's taking. Okay, so first if you go for like first what it has taken, HTML. Okay, here what you are saying, HTML, right? So that is what it has taken. Then head and body you come across, but body got expanded, head not got expanded. Okay, so now if you go for like here body, it is taking body. Okay, then body they were divided into so many divisions, like division 1, division 2 they were having. Okay, but division main something it has taken, you see, main content clear. Okay, first one is Google header bar, second one is main content. Okay, so main content got expanded. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so before that here you are having one more division class wrapper, division class wrapper you are having, right? So division wrapper it has taken. Then division Google and division main you are having, but Google division they haven't expanded, only division main they were expanded. So division main it is taking. Division main is taking. Okay, so similarly H2 and form were there, but form got expanded. So before that division sign in was there already. Okay, division sign in, then division single box, something sign in box, division main, division sign in, division sign in, sign in box also you are having one more. After that I was saying like form, right? H2 and form, but form got expanded, so form is taken. So like that entire hierarchy it's taking. So this is nothing but like cascading style sheet. Best approach is like cascading style sheet, but mostly people follow for identifying any of the object by using X path. Okay, so but even the cascading is but because of huge, this is very huge, right? So that's why people go for like X path. Okay, so this is nothing but like X path and CSS. So in latest version of your QTP like QTP 11, they come up with like X path and CSS. And one more concept they come up is like visual identification. Visual identification. So the concept of like visual identification is nothing but like okay, what do you say, like if any of the object QTP unable to identify. Yesterday I have told like when you can go for like low level recording, any of the object QTP doesn't provide unique identification. So now the concept you got, right? So object means it will be having some properties and QTP try to identify any of the object with the help of properties. So now any of the object doesn't provide unique identification means at that time you can go for like why. That one you will get to know later. So as of now you got some clear picture. So at that point of time QTP can go for like finally visual identification mechanism. So visual identification is nothing but like I have to identify you. That means around you who is sitting. Around you who is sitting. By considering that one I am identifying you. Okay. So like that around username what you are having password. So with the help of password I am trying to identify username. So that is nothing but like visual identification. Okay. So that is nothing but like visual identification. Okay. So this is the mechanism QTP follows for identifying any of the object. And very simple topic I was left. So that is nothing but like if you go for like QTP object repository, I said for identifying any of the object, if you go for like object repository, for identifying use, oh it's already open. So I have to identify sign in. Two properties provide unique identification, right? So class and name. Class and name. If I look for these two properties, it provides unique identification. But why it has stored type and submit and HTML tag? Exactly if you go for like password. If you go for password, so these two properties like class and name, like web edit and password provides unique identification. But why QTP have added few more objects? As of now, you can simply ignore this one. Okay. So I will explain you this concept later. Why I am saying is like these two properties provides unique identification. Tomorrow you see means why is taking these many properties. You may get confused, right? So normally QTP doesn't do anything. It provides just a user interface. Each and everything control is in your hand. QTP is coming up with just a user interface. Okay. However you want to use your tool, QTP you can use. That means control is in your hand only. You are controlling your QTP tool. Okay. So which properties QTP can look for? Identify any of the object. Okay. So you can instruct your QTP tool. So I have to identify web edit. So these are the properties you can look for. Okay. So web edit push button you have to identify. So these are the properties you can look for. Okay. So QTP have to identify link. So these are the properties you can look for. Like that you can instruct your QTP tool. You can control your QTP tool. So which properties QTP can look for? That is nothing. That one, the control is in your hand. So that one you can configure. How you can configure is with the help of object identification. So if you go for like tools menu, object identification, one concept you come across. Okay. Here you can configure. So here you are getting like mandatory properties, assistive properties and ordinal identifier, right? So here which properties QTP can look for? If you go for like web edit box, web button, web page if you go, web edit if you go, so these are the properties you are configured, right? So that's why QTP has looked for those many properties. Here you see type name and HTML tag. Type name and HTML tag. Here you are seeing, right? So QTP added these properties to your object repository. Here, if you want to add or remove, okay. Absolute way also I am adding. Now, if you record again, okay. Now I am adding absolute way. So if I record, so my where is Internet Explorer? Okay. If I record, so it will try to add user absolute text also, you see. Okay, it has added, right? You see, it has added. So this one you haven't understand. I will explain you later. As of now, you can remember just QTP initially look for mandatory properties for identify, and which properties QTP can consider as mandatory properties, can consider as assistive properties. You can configure with the help of object identification. As of now, you can remember that is the step. Later, I will explain you how exactly it will work. So as you proceed with our course, meanwhile you will get expertise by that time, right? So I will stay back to original properties. So web edit, if I go, so web edit web and web edit, if I go, I will remove absolute text. Okay, so let it be stable. Okay. Okay, so this is nothing but like your object identification. Okay, so idea is very simple. For identifying any of the object, it will look for some properties. So we were discussing like what is object, what is class, okay, what is property, what is method, what are mandatory properties, what are object identification mechanism. We were discussed under object identification mechanism. We come across mandatory properties, assistive properties, ordinal identifier. Ordinal identifier is nothing but like index, location, creation time. But in our latest versions, they come up with like XPath, CSS path, and what do you say, visual identification. So these are the concepts we are discussing. I have unmuted. Any questions? Any questions? No questions? Okay. Okay, then